Hi, welcome to another video of my pneumatic hand robotic arm with gears. I first want to focus on the lower gear. Well, not anymore the lower gear, it's just the gear, because the upper gear is gone. And if you've watched the previous episodes, that means last episode where I thought I had solved a nasty problem with this sensor, you've noticed that this nice solution didn't work as well as I intended. I needed the screwdriver to touch the switch entirely, and that is obviously not a problem. While it worked in the past quite well, for some reason it doesn't touch the switch, and that causes a whining of the gear, of the motor, and hanging. So the first thing to do is now to get it running and see how it behaves, and I'm afraid it won't have changed. So let's start with that. And now you already hear the high-pitched sound of the motor that wants to go further but can't. So I'm taking the small screwdriver that belongs to fischertechnik and touching the sensor, and that works well because it just can touch the sensor, the lower sensor. Here it does not. And once again, does it go far enough is also the question. Yes, it goes far enough here, because I can't stick my screwdriver between the axis and this construction, so it just can't go further. Then is the question, can I press the sensor more forward? Yes, I can, and it stops the whining. So there may be something to be gained. So right now it works because I've pushed it forward. So I will let it run a couple of times. And just maybe this will be sufficient anyway, which I hope. It certainly looks like this is a solution, and unfortunately that means that I will have to push this construction a little bit forward time and again. However, for now I can say it works after all. Looking at the distance that it goes in the elbow, this is starting. Let me point it with the screwdriver, and then this is the end. So it takes this whole this complete distance, including a little bit up and down, because of the fact that it crosses here a horizontal point. As you can see here, it pulls, it releases and pulls again. And that of course causes the arm to go up and be pulled again here. The question is, can I do it with the whole distance? For now I can't. But I've gained anything at all, so who knows what will be in store for next. Then there's another issue that I want to address. As you can see, it can pivot, and I want to find out if I can do it with a motor, but therefore I have to turn the pivoting platform upside down. So that means that I'll have to disconnect this whole base and put it somehow different. So I guess that is the next task. However, before I continue with that reconstruction of the pivoting point, I want to test if the whole thing works. So I take the diagnosis interface, I open the device, and then I try the fingers. Because I want to be sure that everything works as should. And unfortunately, I know, yeah, 2 works. Then 1 does not work. So I'll have to check that out before I start. It is a little bit messy, but the problem is that without everything working properly, I'm not sure where I did wrong if I start to reconstruct and things don't work. So I definitely need to solve this. And the irritating point is also that so far it's been these 3 that fail now and then without a clear reason. But last time it clearly was a reason, because one of the wires was no longer seated. That is the case this time as well. So I will try to fix this quickly. And it's a small screw that I have to fix now. So please a little bit of patience. And it's an awkward position as well. there it goes. So let's try it again. And no, that was not the solution. Unfortunately, not. So there is some more to fix. And the question is where that is. And unfortunately I don't see more places, so I need to check out that further. And this is really annoying. And after some search, it turned out to be that the wire was disconnected at the finger, and that's a place I didn't look at. So once again, testing 1. And now would it be very nice if this one would work as well. It did work, so why doesn't it now? Yes, this is all very, very irritating. And 3 works, and 4 works, and 5 works. So this is a problem that completely annoys because of the weak wiring. And it already worked a little problematic at the first test. So no, that's all wired, all connected. And yes, this one is no longer connected. So, and that's a soldered wire, so easier to fix than when it's just copper. So let's test it now. Yes, there we go. Next thing to test is the compressor. Yes. And you may hear the sound now. And I'll have to wait a little bit till the pressure is built up. Until I get actual pneumatic response, because yes, it's a pneumatic hand. And all pneumatic outputs are connected. So so far no response, unfortunately, but the electrical thing is wired, is correct, So let me just keep it that way, and let me go to reconstruct the pivoting point, and that's going to be a challenge. In order to flip this pivoting point, I have to include that it won't be that easy, because this whole gear setup is just connected to 3 points. This one, the one here, and here, which is on this point, and it is connected to the whole vertical arm. So while the upper part can be connected, this one and this one have to be taken off. And of course, when building it, I didn't think of this situation. And after taking this off, I have to take it off the base. And with all the wires and tubes coming out on this side, it is never sure what will happen. And the best thing is, of course, to connect it first here, like I did up there, because I want it to be supported at all times. And unfortunately, I don't have these yet loose and handy, the connection points here. And also these things are quite in the way. I can slide these off, but I can't slide these out. These are in a different way connected, although these look like it comes out very easily. And this comes also as easily. So that's one thing. So that may be easier than initially thought. So let's see if that comes off. This comes off, yes. So that's one thing. And here on the bottom side it's the same idea. Although the question is still, should I connect it back here or should I connect it back to the base? I think this is better. And let's see how this works. It's getting way too flexible now, that you can see. I'll lift the camera a little bit, because that is something. I just moved the base or the gear, and you can see how flexible it all becomes now. And that is something which is not preferable. But I'll have to do with that right now. So let me take this construction off as well. So now it hangs completely free. No, not completely, because it's still stuck here. But it's free enough to disconnect this. And I don't like that. So let me first find something to connect this. That will be much safer. With this reconstruction on one side ready, it is kind of not very rigid, but it will have to do for now. With a sliding construction here, and here the motor is sliding as well, and it all has to do with the gear, because the gear has to stay in place, of course. But considering the whole construction here, it has to be like this. So let's see if the whole thing can be fixed here as well, with a few parts. And the same reconstruction I have done here, I will have to do here as well, because this should be on equal height, which it isn't right now. Another problem is that the whole wiring will be tighter. So we'll see how it ends up. If it all works or not. This one has to go one higher. And then it gets a bit tricky. And let me do it the same way as on the other side. This one up here. And then you can see how flexible everything is, which is not always a good sign. And then trying to put it in here. So this is construction right now. It's still being there. So who knows what comes ahead. Moving the camera, and let's see how it all, let's all see how it ends up. Looks like okay. The gear on this side is a little bit off, but it will have to do for now. And with this set I should be able to turn this around, but then I'll have to lose this and put this down somehow. So reconstruction part 1 is finished. As you can see, the pivot reconstruction has been done. I did it off camera. I had no idea what would happen, how long it would take. But I took the whole thing in one hand and managed to take it off by one, and then I had to do it the other way around again. So now I can do it like this, and the question is, will I use this motor or this power motor to rotate it by motor? And if I look at the size of this motor, I would have to put it like this, and then it would obstruct the whole thing, unless I also fix the motor somehow to this construction, or put the motor up here, fix it somehow there, and then run it. Both have their appeals. However, considering the fact that when I do this I have to be I should have a very long wire, because the controller is over there, right here, I would prefer using this motor, because then I can have it some way like this or whatever in a static place and run it. So that's another food for thought. But another thing is, does everything still work? Much more important now. And most likely, or more probably, does the motor still work? So let's run it. And the answer, unfortunately, is no, because this gear is completely off the thing, and even worse, this one doesn't even run. Yes, now it does, and now it goes. So with some adjustments, as you could see, it works. One wire had gone loose, but another thing I notice is that this construction may be too wide, but I'm not quite sure how to change that for now. Anyway, for now it works, and that's what matters. And let's see how this works. No, that won't, because the compressor the hand won't work now because the compressor isn't running. I can change that, of course. Holding a finger. There it goes. You can see it in the corner. So let me point it at the hand. Let's see if it actually works. Yes. And the second. Yes, it does. Okay, so the fingers work, compressor work, the motor works, the gear works. So onto the next big thing, construction of a motor here. So with the choice of the motor I put also a gear on it, and I can place it like this, and that should not be any high because then it reaches the new construction. And when on this position I can put this on under it. So that gives a bit poor lighting. Maybe this helps. And even better lighting. And then it should be put nicely like that. So let's construct something, and this could go in here, but I'll have to slide it. First, this proves a little bit hard. So let me put it like this first. Not really stable. So I will need two. But with this done, it is a nice motor put there. And it is a narrow miss right here, but it should do. And that leaves the wiring, and that's a good question. The wiring will go to the interface extension, and then how far will it turn? Can we turn? Now this is also flexible, so it will have to see how that works out. So how do I wire it? Right now that's a good question. So let's go find the wire. I found a wire that is just barely long enough, and that makes to interface extension motor 2. So let's see if it actually runs. And I don't know if you saw that, so let me position the camera better. it's too flexible. This turns out to be too flexible. So the question is, how can I improve this? I'm not quite sure yet, because whether I put it like this or like that, the flexibility is in it and won't change, I'm afraid. So while the idea is very nice, or maybe I should put it stronger against it, it is an idea as well. So let me check again. No. That is still way too flexible, and that is a pity, because using the other motor, it is well, I've shown you how I have to construct that, so that will be a problem. This turns out to be a problem as well. I think I should use some of these elements to fix the problem. Most likely. And see if that works out. But I think that leaves also for the next episode. So for now, thank you for watching, and certainly to be continued. Bye bye.